Hey, prospectors, it's your buddy Sam. And before we get into this episode, I just got to say that we have a live show at MagicCon Atlanta. It's going to be Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the Spin Down panel room. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to read 3 or probably 4 salty stories. If you have a salty story, if you're going to be there in the room, send us your story with Atlanta in the title or MagicCon Atlanta in the title, something like that, so we can pull it into the pool and read it while we're there. Also, right after that, we're probably going to be doing our Howling Salt Mine meetup, so we'll have information at the live show about that. And on Sunday, we're going to be doing our meet and greet from 10:30 a.m. to noon. That's when we're going to be interviewing people. We'll have tons of things to hand out, tons of things to sign. If you've been watching our shorts or our reels or social media, we've done other announcements on this, but I felt like I had to slap one in front of the main episode just so people knew, just in case you're not watching all that other stuff. But we will have a more detailed schedule that goes up on our social media, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and I'll put a video form of it somewhere on YouTube. All right, I have held you up long enough. Let's get into this episode.
One podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty mines of the Magic the Gathering community, find the salty stories, the salty posts that we love, put them into our mine cart, and bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my 2 co-hosts, Mike and Tony. Say hey, guys.
What up, what up, what up? Hello.
Hello, indeed. And before we go any further, we got to shout them out, our nice tier patrons. This week we have Accidental TPK, Alex Balax, Dr. Black, and ZZ. Thanks for being so nice, y'all. Boys, I got a story for you. I did something today for the first time ever in my life.
Oh, yeah?
I got a pedicure.
Ooh. How them toes doing?
They're good.
We can't, Sam. I meant to talk to you guys about this.
You said how them
we
toes
can't.
doing. You said
I
how
did,
them
but we
toes
can't.
doing.
We can't make every episode about feet.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to.
It's going to be
putting
in
my
the
foot
episode
down.
Title.
You're putting your foot down?
I'm putting my
Mike?
foot down, yeah.
You're putting your foot down, dude?
Otherwise, I'm stomping on out of here.
Well, I am what I am. I got a pedicure today. I have to talk about it.
How are your feet feeling? Are they feeling supple?
Well, no, hang on. How gross were your feet before the pedicure?
Good question.
That's the real question.
So
Did they have to bring out like a fucking Dremel and shit? And they're like, look at this guy.
Well, what I learned is that they just Dremel your toes normally. That's like part of the process.
Well, that's what you think. They only crack it out for the nasty boys.
Dude, I was seeing other people getting Dremeled. It was like, it's really wild, the tools they use on your feet. But yeah, my feet are feeling fucking great. The level of nastiness they had before, not that high. Toenails were a little long. I've never had a pedicure, so I got like calluses and shit on my feet. But the real reason why I wanted to do it was because I stubbed my pinky toe on my right foot like 2 times in a row last week and cracked the nail right in half.
Why does getting a pedicure help with that?
So, because I didn't really know how to like deal with the nail because it was so fucked up. And I didn't want to like trim it and make it worse. And like cracked nails, like a broken nail, it's something that any nail salon can like handle and deal with and fix and clean up and stuff. So that was my original idea, was like, well, I've never been like
pampered before.
I just trim my toenails. I'm not like doing any science down there or anything. Like I'm not really putting care into them. I'm just fucking lopping off the nail when it gets long.
My toes are fucked up because I climb. And so my toenails like fucking die all the time.
Yeah, I got some like weird nails, So I was like, maybe they can fix that too. Maybe they'll clean it up. And I was like, let's just fucking go for it. So I made an appointment, popped over. Walked
Did you
in.
need the appointment?
I did need an
Interesting.
appointment.
So it was happening on a fucking Wednesday.
Yeah, dude, it was the only time left. I went in at like 6 p.m. Like I'm fucking fresh right now. Like,
This is
you
really
just
ripped this. This
I
is
literally
really fresh.
Came home, had dinner, came upstairs and recorded this episode with you guys.
Nice.
So wild process. So I get in, I go in, and they don't explain anything to me. I was like, they weren't like, hey, is this your first time? Also, I'm the only dude there. I did get like the king's pedicure, which is like for men, you know? I think it's the exact same thing as all other pedicures, just cost $10 more.
Cost $10 more?
Yeah.
It's because you're bringing in some man feet.
I'm bringing in some fucking dogs.
There's more foot. There's more foot on average for them to deal with.
That is true. I mean, I got big ass feet too. So, I mean, they had a lot of space to cover.
You got big ass feet? Dang.
Yeah, they had to take care of those too. The nails are really fucked up on those. So I go in, sit down, and I'm soaking my feet in like super hot water. That's like the first thing, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
I bet that was kind of nice.
So nice, dude. Oh, and I'm in a massage chair that's like giving me a little back massage the whole time. And this like nice little Asian lady that didn't speak English very well. So it was a little hard to like, I wanted to be like, this is my first time. I've never had a pedicure before. And she's just like, sit, lift your foot. And I'm like, okay. Like there's not a lot of small talk. So I'm just reading manga on my phone the whole time. I'm happy. I'm happy with the plan.
You're in your happy place.
I'm in my happy place. So soaks my feet, trims up everything around the toes, trims up my nails a little bit, soaks them more. There's like a salt scrub massage from my calves down all over my feet. That feels great.
Definitely gotten that before. Yeah.
That's the kings.
Dude,
that is the case.
Yeah. She put a crown on my head and said my liege the whole time. She soaks my feet even more, then covers them in this lotion and gets this like what I can only describe as like a sandpaper brick for a foot. And between that and a combination of what I can only describe as like a cheese grater for your foot, she fucking goes to town.
I've heard of the grater.
Brother, it was wild. Skip forward 30 seconds if you don't want to hear something kind of gross. The Parmesan coming off these dogs, man.
Was it like your heel?
Yeah, the heel. It was all
That's
the calluses.
where she's taking it off.
She
of the
like
heel,
softened
right?
up all the calluses on my heels and like my big toe,
right off.
and just fucking shaved it off. And I like, I saw her doing it.
Was it like the microplane side of the grater or like the thick fucking side of the grater?
Like the microplane side of the grater.
I was like, holy fuck.
But
I definitely went to the thick side immediately, and I was like, damn.
But I was kind of like, is this going to hurt? And it kind of tickled and it kind of did hurt. It was a weird sensation overall. I was really focusing on the manga and trying not to look at it because it was like she's shaving parts of my foot off right now. And man, it was foul. Like just, and she was totally, total professional, scrapes thousands of nasty feet a day. Completely unfazed by my gross ass feet. Which I didn't think were that gross, but after I saw like the pure amount of like volume removed, I was like, damn, my fucking feet were nasty. So she does that. Feels amazing, right? And then back in the hot water. Then it's hot towels around my legs, like wrapped hot towels around my calves all the way down my feet, just letting them soak more. A little bit more scraping. Then she gets into the nails. She's like cleaning them. She's trimming them up. It's awesome. Then she does like a mint lotion on my feet that smelled fucking amazing and felt really good. Then she was like, okay, you're done. And I was like, I said that I wanted to get my toenails painted, which I did because my daughter loves to play with my feet. So I was like, maybe I'll get my toenails painted. It'll be fun. And she'll be like, oh, this is kind of weird. So I wanted to get them painted black. So she's like, oh, she's kind of surprised. I did mention that to her earlier, but hey, whatever. So she comes back with all the paint and shit. The process starts anew. Now there's so much more going on. She's like cleaning the toes even more. She's putting on paint. She does like fucking 10 coats. Like she's going crazy.
Yeah.
Like clear coat,
That's just
coat,
gonna stay
another
on.
coat, another one. Yeah, I told Caroline, I was like, I got the gel. She's like, that's going to be on forever. And I was like,
The gel? That is going to be that. Yeah, that's going to grow out with your nail.
It's like
That's
very
going to be on
serious.
there the entire. So did they use the UV light on it too?
Yeah, they
to,
used the
set it?
UV
Oh my
light to
God.
like solidify it. And then
Yeah.
and that's when she busted out like the Dremel. She like she wouldn't have done it unless I got it painted, but she like kind of dremeled the top of the nail to like make a flat surface
Prep the
/
surface, yeah.
rough it up so that the paint would stick. So after that, she comes out with these 2 plastic bags full of what I can only describe as purple juice. And I'm like, what is this strange potion? What is this weird, like super bright purple liquid? And what is she going to do with these 2 bags? And she just grabs my foot and like sticks it in the bag so that the purple shit is all over my feet. I'm like, what is that? What is happening? Again, language barrier. Nothing's being explained. She's just like, she doesn't know it's my first pedicure. She's like, this guy does this all the fucking time. I'm not
Yeah, he
shocking
wants
him
his
right
nails
now.
done. Oh, he chose the gel.
Hey, he wants the purple juice treatment at the
she's
end.
like, he chose the gel, so he must do this a lot.
He must get the juice also. So, also there's definitely like an upcharge with the gel because I said gel and the lady was like, oh, the gel. And another person doing nails was like, And I was like, oops, that was probably more money.
Yes.
It definitely
and
was.
it's going to last
So long.
much longer.
So long, dude.
That's why it's more money, baby.
So she puts my feet in these purple bags, ties it tight around both of my feet and like ties the top of the bag at my ankle. Comes back with hot towels, wraps them around my legs and my feet again. And I'm like, what is the juice? No fucking idea. I got the juice on my feet and I'm wrapped in towels. I have no idea what step in the process this is. Comes back, takes off the towels, opens up the bags. And I realize then that it's wax. It's like a paraffin wax. And she's like scraping purple wax off my feet, which made them all like soft and supple and shit. And after that, she's like, yep, you're done. It's like, all right. Fucking like $60 for all that shit, man.
So now if people want to suck on your toes, they're nice and supple for them.
Come on, Tony.
Grow
We
up,
cannot.
Grow
Can't
up.
be putting that out into the world.
Grow up, Tony.
There's too much already.
Sucking on my toes.
You guys should grow up. Some people like that shit.
I'm monogamous.
Likewise.
That's not what you said the last time I was sucking on your toes.
That was a favor. That was a platonic suck. And you
That was a
know it.
medical. That was a medical thing.
The deals that I take to win a CDH game are between you and me. So anyways, I come home, show, obviously, Caroline's like, tell me the whole story. I tell Caroline, pop off my Crocs, got the painted toes. Evelyn walks over immediately and starts like poking at the toenails. And I'm like, hell yeah, mission successful.
Success.
She's just like, huh? So yeah, now I got these like black toenails. You guys want to see them? Let me see.
I do.
Very cool.
Oh, damn. That looks like a weird angle.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it looks like you're lifting someone else's foot up right now.
Like, literally.
I'm pretty flexible, man.
This is
Especially
that
because
is
you've removed
odd.
they've been waxed, so they're so supple now.
They do look different. Like
They
the
literally
toes,
do.
not only with like the paint, obviously, but I look at them now and I'm like, this is kind of a different foot. I've been changed.
I'm surprised that I feel the same way. That I know your feet well enough to be like,
changed,
those
man.
are different.
They're changed. But honestly, it was awesome. I would definitely do it again. It was very nice to be pampered and it was fucking cheap, dude. And I just read manga the whole time and like chilled.
How much was it?
It was like $70 and I got
Oh,
the
damn.
expensive polish. And now I got these black toes and I feel like Murdoch from the Gorillas. The people at home are loving it.
Nice. Yeah. Having painted nails is fun. I haven't had painted toenails, I think, since like a long time. But I had those painted nails for the first MagicCon we went to, and it was very
that
fun.
was fun.
Those were also gel. So those stayed on a good long time.
A goodly amount. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see how long these ones stay. It's gonna be weird. Like, I feel like now, do I just have to go back? It's gonna be weird, like trimming my own toenails now. I don't know. I'll have to like figure it out. Because now I got all this polish.
You can
shit.
trim. You can trim it. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
You can trim it right
Oh,
off.
I just
yeah.
thought you meant like
You might want to
period
use like
for
a
the rest of your
clipper
life.
rather than like, I don't know if you normally use like a little nail scissors.
I usually use just like a fucking hatchet.
Okay, you'll be fine then. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just cut my toes off and
the
regrow them
clippers
every
will be
time.
fine. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Like a Namekian. I power up and my toes shoot out from the stumps. Just like
a little
Piccolo
juicy.
when he cuts his arm off. Yeah, they're a little juicy
bit juicy.
too. And everyone around me is like,
Is there any like saline solution in that juice?
God, I fucking hope not. This is what a horrible transition. Just ask me the question. This is it? Is there,
I can't
is there
ask
salt
you the
in my
question.
toe juice?
But wait, Sam, what the fuck? Why the fuck did you?
That
get the gel. But what the fuck?
I don't know. I'm a sucker, dude. I get upsold on shit all the fucking time. You guys know how easily I cave to peer pressure. If someone's like, why don't you get this? I'm like,
they don't even do peer
good.
pressure. Yeah, like literally that. It's a suggestion. It's not
Also,
even peer pressure.
I was in like an unfamiliar situation. And again, there's a bit of a language barrier. And she was just like, this or gel? And I was like, I didn't hear the first word. I'll take the gel. And she was like, the gel, huh? And I was like, oh, what have I done?
That actually is the worst when you're like, I didn't hear the first thing, but I did hear this other thing. So I'll just say that.
I'll commit to that.
And I didn't want to be like, huh? You know, I don't know.
But again, stop it. What is salt?
Salt is frustration in the game, as we like to say. Salt is anything in a game of Magic that's going to get you frustrated, grumpy, sulky, just irritated that things aren't going your way. Maybe your commander's getting countered over and over and over again. I mention that one a lot because that really, really sucks. Maybe there's a power level discrepancy. Maybe someone's just being a dickhead at your LGS and your happy place is no longer your happy place. There's a lot of different types of salt in the mine, and we're here to talk about all of them so that we can learn from it and hopefully not be salty in a future game of Magic. As we like to say, it's an edumagicational podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Well, boys, what's the first term here? I'm going to dig on into our bag of salt. What should I be searching for?
Acid.
Acid? All right. This one comes to us from our buddy, Eric, our good friend, Eric, number knower, as some people know them. And the story is titled Salt, Phat, Acid, and Heat. This is the name of a cookbook. I'm not certain if this joke lands.
You also put that in the title?
Yeah, he did. It's like a full sentence in the title.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as much of a joke or a reference there, Eric, but hey, man, it does land. I do know that cookbook.
It's kind of iconic.
It is. It is iconic. Definitely.
Famous even.
Well, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Howdy, boys. It's your friendly neighborhood number knower here, and this is a story that happened a long time ago, pre-pandemic, maybe 2018, at Anime Boston. The details are a little hazy, and there may be some dramatic embellishment, but I've had this story in the back of my mind for years. This is the story of the greatest game of Magic the Gathering I've ever been a part of. The context, I was at this anime convention alone, backpack full of decks in tow, ready to play Magic all day or until they kicked me out. I was also allegedly tripping sack on acid. Nice. Eric's note, feel free to cut that line or bleep it out if you don't want illegal activity mentioned on your podcast. Okay, love you, XOXO. We read it all, bud. We read it all. Unless you say a slur, then we just don't even read the story. Then we just pick another one.
Yeah.
I used to do this a lot, and let me tell you, it is the ultimate form of playing Magic at sorcery speed. At the time this game happened, I was fully team, look at the pretty card in my hand and smile, just happy to be here. I was playing my Roshin Meanderer casual deck, just Hydras and burn spells, baby, where the goal is to drop a big fatty, tap and untap Roshin 100 times, and cast the biggest Banefire of your life. This was the dreaded 5-player game. But the only players that matter were the hero and villain of our story. In the blue corner is my MTG hero, maybe my favorite person to play Magic with. His name is Sterling, and I met him that day at this game. He's playing Lycia Sanguine Tribune, but the goal of this deck is to do crazy life gain / life loss stuff. I'm talking paying your life down to 1 with Necropotence, gaining it back with Children of Corliss, doubling life totals, having life totals, drawing 1,000 cards with Necrologia. Look it up. Hey, we talked about it on a recent episode, actually. Or doming someone with hatred. This deck is mega, mega spicy. I'm talking win with Triskaidekaphobia spicy. This deck frequently goes down to low life totals and dies to Lightning Bolt, and it's a beautiful thing. And the red corner is our villain. I didn't get his name, but he was playing stupid, boring Atraxa good stuff. Planeswalkers, Infect. This is a computer generate me an Atraxa deck type deck. He says his deck is about a 7, LOL, and sits down and starts wailing on us. I'm just happy to be here, so I don't mind, but this dude is deaf pub stomping. Blinged out cards, no take backsies, acting real sweaty. I'm doing nothing, just casting Hydras. Our 4th is essentially playing a precon, and this was 2018 precons, not the spice we have today. Atraxa is doing Atraxa things, and Sterling is biding his time. At some point, he asks the Atraxa player to take it down a notch. We're just having fun, and this guy is clearly pub stomping ruthlessly. The Atraxa player doesn't take it down a notch. The vibes are not fantastic at this point. I'm seeing everything through fractal-shaped glasses, but my turns are taking... Okay, stop. Eric, if you had me censor out the part where you said you were on acid, so much of this wouldn't make sense.
It would have just been colorful, you know.
I guess so. Fractal-shaped glasses. Okay. I'm seeing everything through fractal-shaped glasses, but my turns are taking millions of years due to being on an altered mind state. Yeah, okay, again. There's no way cutting that out. Okay, we're keeping going. And we're just getting beat down by Atraxa. Atraxa player has an Otherworld Atlas and a walking archive out, both with a ton of counters on them. And we think he's going for some manual lab man type strategy or to mill us all out. Remember, this is 2018. At some point, Sterling has enough. He's been asking for life totals nearly every turn, and then he just goes quiet for a couple minutes. The Atraxa player is at exactly 10 life. Sterling has been controlling life totals like a puppet master for a couple of turns, and finally, we see why. In the Atraxa player's upkeep, Sterling casts Hidetsugu's Second Right. I've never seen this fucking magic card before, and I'm losing my mind. Atraxa player pulls out all the stops to try and get through this. He doubles the amount of counters on Otherworld Atlas, I think with a Voral of the Hulklade. He taps it, and we all draw a ton of cards. He cantrips with some spells in his hand. He's digging so deep. I think he gets to the point where he has 3 or 4 cards left in his deck. He counters the right. Sterling counters the counterspell. It must have been with a Mana Tithe or something. Like I said, my memory is a bit hazy, and we were all popping off. Atraxa player tanks for real life 5 minutes. The Hidetsugu's Second Right resolves. We all cheer. Atraxa player gets up and leaves without a word. Packs his bag, no eye contact, just gets up and leaves. I like to think he's still salty to this day for being beaten by Hidetsugu's Second Right in a game he had in the bag. Sorry it's so long. Feel free to cut whatever you need. Eric, number knower. Well, thanks, Eric. We appreciate that. Mike, please read to the class Hidetsugu's Second Right.
It would be my greatest pleasure. It is 3 and a red for an instant. If target player has exactly 10 life, Hidetsugu's Second Right deals 10 damage to that player.
What a stupid fucking card. That's so dumb. What is this?
What a fucking incredibly niche card. That's so
That is
funny.
so funny,
Also
dude.
for 4 fucking mana.
Yeah.
I bet it was a menace and like limited whenever you could draft it, but like
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
is so funny,
That is
man.
hilarious, actually.
Interesting. That's from Saviors of Kamigawa. And Heartless Hidetsugu is from Betrayers of Kamigawa. For people who don't know, Heartless Hidetsugu has a tap ability that deals damage to each player equal to half that player's life total, rounded down. So the flavor here being that the first right, you take someone from 20 to 10, and the second right, you take them from 10 to nothing. I love that, dude. That
is some flavor.
Spice. That's spicy as fuck.
It's pretty awesome.
Can you read that commander as well? Licia Sanguine Tribune?
Yeah, I can. Licia Sanguine Tribune is 5, a red, a white, and a black for a legendary creature vampire soldier. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life you gained this turn.
Oh.
As first strike, lifelink, it's a 4/4, and it has pay 5 life to put 3 +1/+1 counters on Licia, and you can activate it only during your turn and only once each turn.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, at first I was like 8 mana, but the cost reduction is actually pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's actually also interesting because I feel like everyone talks about how there's just no other option besides Edgar Markov for vampires.
Yeah, for Mardu vampires.
Well, because like, why would you play something else that's so much weaker?
This goes tall.
Yeah, this is cool.
Markov goes wides. This goes tall. Like they're different things you're trying to do.
I actually almost built this deck once. I was trying to make a silly bullshit like life manipulation deck where I wanted to win with what's that thing where if your life total is like exactly 1, I think you win the game or something.
Near death experience.
Yeah. I was trying to build a deck around that. And I was like, this will be fun the one time I do it, and then every other time it'll be dumb. So I stopped.
The other times you run like Angel's Grace and life swapping effects. Yeah. And that'll be fun ones too.
Exactly. But everybody's gonna be real mad.
That's 3 good games though, dude. That's 3 good games.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Oh man, what a good story. Man, there's something when it's late at night at a convention and it's fucking goober hours and everyone needs to be on the same level. And when you have a sweat coming in, fucking ruining your time, I'm so not a fan. Like, if I just want to be silly and play like a dumb game of Magic, and someone's like, I'm actually, the priority is on me right now. I'm like, fuck off. Give me a break,
and they're like
dude.
pub stomping you at the same time. They're just like playing stuff that's outside of it.
And no take backsies.
Yeah, no take backsies when you're on substances. Like, give me a break, man. I need
In a
those.
casual game.
I need that.
Yeah.
I think it's weird, especially if you're like not friends with these people and you're just coming into like a random pod, which it did sound like this kind of was a pod full of randos coming together to play a game. But also the bummer of having a 5-player game and one person absolutely sucks. Could have had a great 4-person game.
Yeah, the missed opportunity.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, just don't fucking let that person in.
I know. Really could have had a great 4-person game.
But that is also when like the whole table was erupting at the end. It's because it's like everybody else was on the same page. So they were like, yo, fuck you, player. Like, I feel like moments like that when there's like stack battles are such a common thing in CDH. When one exists in casual, I feel like that doesn't happen as much, or at least not like crazy ones. So even if it's just like 3 or 4 spells, it like can feel so epic in the moment, especially when like, you know, they have the answer to stop you, and then you're like, nah, bitch, like get fucked. And it's so fucking good. I love it. I love this kind of shit.
Dude, 2 counter spells. I feel like in casual,
one being a mana time.
2 counter spells clashing on the stack is like epic moments. Because usually something crazy is happening where you're like, who's got the counter? Someone's got to have a counter. And you're like, I got the counter right here. And everyone's like, yeah. And then the person's like, well, I got the counter. You're like, oh, motherfucker. Like, you got it so bad. Or it's the reverse where you're like, we got to fucking stop it. Oh, it's protecting it. And you're like, not enough. Boom. I love that shit, man.
Nah, it's good shit.
You don't get as hype when 2 counter spells go on the stack in CDH. You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
here they go.
And 2 wrist steady triggers. Am I right? Mid-range meta. Waka waka.
Well, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
It's good, man. It's less salty and more acidic.
Nice.
But no, I dig it. I feel like this is it's that classic acid. Salt. Yeah.
We just got there, folks.
Yep.
I think the real thing that I'm salty about is that I don't know that Eric will actually listen to the show anymore. For brief context, he told us that like he sent in this story thinking that like,
no, he still
they
listens.
don't have shit. Like, well, so yeah, we'll get there. So he still listens because it hasn't been read yet. Because he's just constantly waiting to see when we're going to do it. Because when he submitted, he was like, they can't have that many. I'm going to be on like the next episode or 2. And then he kept waiting and kept waiting and kept waiting.
Sucks to suck, dude.
And he's like, I do listen because I like you guys, but like, you know, I thought my story would get read, and now I just think it'll never happen. So I'm just curious if he will continue to listen now that it's been read.
Well, the real thing, I think that's part of the excitement of the show is like, is my story going to be on this week? But the real thing is, once your story gets read, that's when you send in a second story. That's when you throw another one into the
double
pool.
Down.
And you really hit it with the SEO. You get some good terms in there.
Yeah, you get the gabagool in there, and then you're like, let's fucking go.
If someone puts gabagool as a search
it's getting fucking read.
I wonder if it would.
We're going to find out on our next fucking story. Let's go deeper into the mind. Let's search gabagool.
Let's do gabagool. Should I do gabagool or capicola? Because it's really what it is.
Oh, shit. Start with gabagool. How would you spell that? I feel like everybody would spell it differently.
GABAGOOL, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
I think I'm less confident spelling capicola. Oh, no, it's literally so phonetic.
Sorry, as in you have found a story?
No. I just typed it correctly. No, neither of those had it.
What about heat? We did acid. We could probably find Phat and heat as well.
I will say I did type in salami and there was one story, but we already read it. What a shame. I have one right here. We actually have a bunch for heat. So I'm going with the third one down because it has the most interesting title.
Cool.
This one comes to us from our buddy, Arch Chaos. Oh, and this was sent in from a phone. This is interesting. You know how sometimes you send an email in from your phone and it gives like the little automatic thing at the bottom? This was written heat of the moment, perhaps. Late up at night and you're fucking typing it in. No, not really. It's in the middle of the day. And the title is GF4P, or as we like to say, get fucked fourth player.
GFAP.
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 This is a kid show, Mike.
In lead speak.
Your parents
It's in
listen
lead
to this.
Yeah,
Mike has made that joke
it's
a
just
lot of times on the show already.
Yeah, it's what we call it.
Do we need a GFAP shirt? I think we've always talked about how do we put get fucked fourth player on a shirt, and I think it's GF4P. I think we just put that on a shirt.
Oh, interesting. I guess you could do that. The other thing we said is you could just like make characters out of like letters on the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little tacky.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible idea, Tony. I don't know.
No, it's a good idea, but like only if you're kind of tacky.
Yeah, why don't you guys get fucked?
All right, the story goes. I've been having issues with a player in my dedicated playgroup for a while. Uh-oh. Caution, Arch Chaos. I hope you don't get too specific with this person. We've had fallout of this type in the past. So
yeah, but that's what's good. Lay into him.
Yeah, hopefully you kept this nice
Let it be known.
and vague. So I've been having issues with a player in my dedicated playgroup for a while. Being called a cheater when they don't understand the rules, knocked out 5 turns into a 12-turn game, being called the threat after being hit by a one-sided board wipe, etc. I just let it roll off for a while, but it was beginning to wear on me. After a heated rant, there's that heat, I had resolved to speak to them after the game, but instead, both of the other players jumped to my defense. That's when I realized that even though it was all directed at me, it had become a problem for the whole pod. This all culminated in a game that we played on my birthday. First player was on Atraxa. I was on Hashaton. Third was on Nayali, and the problematic fourth player was on the Terra Precon. I'd been focused down by the problematic player and was reduced to a single-digit life, while some of the other players were still over 30. In the last turns of the game, I played 2 flyers and passed. The player to my left attacked the whole table, including throwing down 2 4/4 double-striking birds my way. I commented that if he sends both, I'm dead. They looked at my board and said that I had 2 blockers for 2 birds. I reminded them that while I could chump block the flyers, I wouldn't be able to block the problematic player. He said sorry and continued the attack and then passes to the problematic player. It's the problem player's turn, and they start doing things. I'm not paying too much attention since I'm just waiting to hear the combat step. They move to combat and proceed to full send at Nayali. Thank goodness. They chose to take care of the actual issue instead of focusing me again. They've got an end of turn trigger that causes all players to discard a card. I announce what I'm discarding, and they freeze. What do you mean? They say. For your trigger, I'm discarding this. You're dead. Oh, I must have missed it earlier. What did you use to kill me? You said you were dead when he attacked you. I said I was dead because I wouldn't be able to block you. I thought you gave me a free turn so we could gang up on the Nayali player. They start untapping and rewinding to... oh my God.
Oh, God.
They start untapping and rewinding to before combat. I told them that we're not going to rewind the turn after everything else just because they didn't realize I was still in the game. They thought I was just being stubborn and refusing to pack up. But once they realized that I was still in the game, they rage quit and stormed out. Atraxa and I couldn't claw back, and Nayali won the next turn. It was a sour end to a game where I didn't get to do much, and afterwards, we decided not to invite the problematic player back to game night. Now we're left with a 3-person pod and a bad memory of my favorite game. Thanks for reading. That is a sad story. That's a fucking bummer, dude.
It also seems like there's borderline like 2 problematic players, though.
How so?
Well, there's this one person who's like the problem, right? They're ganging up on him and all those things. Like, we don't have context, so it kind of just feels like, felt like you were getting picked on. I feel that. I didn't hear too many things that felt like overly problematic, but then it was like, okay, player 1 like should have killed you or tried to kill you, forced the blocks, and then problem player didn't swing at him. But it sounded to me, at least, that like it wasn't just the problem player that was letting the rewind happen. The other player was like, I thought you were dead too. Like, I was interpreting it that way, that like both of them were like on board for this. Let's rewind the whole fucking turn to like get rid of this person. But it's like, you can't do that. Especially as you pass phases, like shit's done. Once spells are cast, like you don't unresolve a casted thing.
Yeah, when you've passed the turn. and like put a discard trigger on the step, and people have revealed cards from their hand to discard. You can't be like, whoa, back to combat. I need to send a couple flyers at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those moments always make me wonder, like, did the other players protest the rewind as well? I mean, it does sound like they didn't rewind it, and this person just rage quit and stormed out. Which
was it just them
also
who quit
wild.
and left?
Yeah, it's just them, just the problem player. That
so
quit.
maybe it was just them, and I was just like kind of misinterpreting when it was being read here. But it's fucking wild.
It is still kind of weird. Picking on the Naali player a tiny bit, it's kind of weird to send 2 4/4 double striking birds at somebody who's just going to chump them when, well, I mean, we don't know the board state, but they probably could have sent those elsewhere and gotten the attacks through and did like 16 damage to somebody. I mean, that's a fair amount of damage to send out at people.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little, I don't think it's anywhere near the weird level of all these other moves, but it's a little bit like, what are you doing, especially if you know that person's about to get picked on by this other player. But it's just weird. It's really weird to have someone in your pod that is picking on you this hard. That would be like if the Nick and Tony feud was so deep that like Tony was rewinding things to be like, oh, like Nick has an enchantment. Sorry, that spell that I cast in my main phase, I actually want to point it at Nick's stuff instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I've seen him discard something.
Yeah. Now that I have more information, I would actually like to do this differently.
Yeah.
Also,
Exactly,
what does it look like to like not pack up, but somehow be confused as having forfeited the game, you know? Like you're still sitting there, presumably like holding your hand. How are people missing that you're in this game?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like you didn't reduce your life total to 0. You weren't like, that's it for me. Like put my deck away. You're still sitting there with a hand.
I think that happens pretty frequently, to be honest. If you'll get like knocked out and like maybe you don't actually go over and put your life total all the way down, and you just like leave your cards out and you're just like kind of sitting there observing. Like many times people will pack their stuff up, but like I do think there's been plenty. I feel like I can think of instances in games when I just like sat there, it's like, well, I'm dead, and then I just sit there and like kind of watch the rest.
For sure, it's just weird, man. I feel like I feel like this problematic player is just kind of an idiot, and it's like not understanding things in the game, and like not paying attention, and for some reason it's just laser focusing this player. I mean, you made the right call to kick them out of your pod for sure.
Yeah, but now you just got 3-player games.
That
Correct.
also sucks.
Yeah.
That really does suck. And this is recent, dude. This was like at the time of recording, we got this like 10 days ago.
Oh, wow.
So this person is going through it right now.
There is some other 4th player out there that is a better fit for you guys.
Yeah. You don't have to put up with that kind of shit, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
Fucking crazy, dude. Like crazy off the charts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like this person is it's so lopsided. The way that they're targeting Arch Chaos here, the way that they're like leaning into them every single game. I'm amazed that you still played with them. Like I'm amazed you even got to this game. You guys already had a big conversation with them. Everybody in the pod like defended you. That should have been it right there, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, we encourage people to talk it out. So unless there's a really positive outcome from that, though, then you might gotta write them off at that point.
And on your fucking birthday, man.
That's the true
present on
crime
my
here.
Birthday?
Yeah. You want a birthday? Give them a birthday for my birthday? That video we will put in the show notes.
Yeah, that's a fucking great, that Tyler creative video. Oh my God. Give me a fucking birthday present for my birthday on my birthday. It's fucking, it's a great video. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. I think you did everything right, though, kicking them out. But holy shit. Don't play Magic with maniacs.
Yeah. Damn. Well, one more one. Wait, was that 3?
That was 2.
That was 2.
And we need one more. That was a quick one. That was only 5 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Give me a search term, guys.
Phat. We got to round it out.
All righty. Ooh, and it's a long one, folks.
Nice. Great.
This one?
It's fat, if you will.
It is, yeah. This is a chunky story.
I said it was long.
Did you search Phat with an F or with a PH?
With an F. Why was I supposed to?
No, I think you're good, but it's nice to know that we've got that option open for,
we
for
have
future
another
search
term.
terms.
If someone is referring to something that's really cool using some mid 2000s lingo,
Yeah, then they deserve the find.
Now there's going to be a bunch of people who submit stories with PH Phat
It's actually
in their
pretty
SEO
fat.
All the better.
search terms.
All the better. I'm glad.
what a strange bit of slang from the past, dude. That's so weird. All right. And the story comes to us from our buddy Austin. And the title is Deserts Are Made Up of Sand, Not Salt. And the story goes, hello, salt overlords. I come before you and the Salty Council to ask for forgiveness. Not for me, but for one of my friends, for they know not what they did. I regret to inform you that one of our own may have mined some salt a little too hard, despite the many warnings. To set the scene, my friends and I were shuffling up to play what would be the last game of the night. I'm on Yuma, Proud Protector. My salty friend who needs forgiveness, we'll call them H. We could do better than that.
Heather.
We'll call them Heather, is on Carmen, Cruel Sky Marcher. And our two other friends are playing Yigra, Eater of All, and Stella Lee, Wild Card. But honestly, they don't matter since they didn't do jack shit all game. So get fucked third and fourth players. As I was shuffling up, I kept drawing hands with 1 or 0 lands. I mulliganed about 3 times before I said fuck it and kept a 1 land hand. I know. You'd think that a lands deck would draw you more than 1 land, but I decided to go with it, making the joke that I believed in the heart of the cards, and I would draw at least 2 more lands within the next 2 turns. Boy, was I wrong. I top decked a land on my first turn and played a Zuran Orb. Yo!
Hey!
Nice. All-star card.
Hey. Zuran Orb wins games. Isn't that the quote that the play to win guys say all the time?
It can be played in CDH Corvold.
Really?
Like straight up.
Is it in your deck?
No, there's a need for speed, I think it is instead, which is a red enchantment for 1 red that does a similar thing, but it gives creatures haste. But it lets you sack all your lands.
Interesting.
But like there was a version. It's in the sideboard. This is literally part of what got me to be like, I should fucking play this deck.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I was looking at your list earlier, and I think that there's like a cut where like that need for speed card could just be cut, and like a Zuran Orb could be put in. Something to consider.
Dude, it literally, that is the swap. It's like back and forth between those.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it being
I agree.
free is
I agree that it's a
legitimately.
good swap. I think you should do it.
I probably will.
I mean, come on. And they just printed that new Zuran Orb, dude. That's fucking hot. Have you seen it? The new Secret Lair Zuran Orb? Oh, it's blingy. If you want a blingy Zuran Orb. I think the Secret Lair is still up. Anyways, I top decked a land on my first turn and played a Zuran Orb, and then proceeded to spend the next 5 turns doing nothing while the other 3 players ramp and establish
spicy,
their boards.
dude. I'm sorry. I just looked it up.
Isn't it hot?
I love
sick.
it.
It's
I
really dope. I bet it's better than the art for
best
Need for
$25
Speed,
bucks
dude.
I'll ever spend.
Yeah. In particular, Heather is popping off with their vampires because it's a borrowed deck from one of the other players, and they've never had this much luck in a game before. They only own the Humans Precon from Ikoria, which I gifted to them. So they're ecstatic and laughing and overall having a great time, slowly draining us of our life totals while their board grows bigger. About an hour has passed by. It was getting pretty late and the game was dragging like crazy. Yigra wasn't doing shit. Stella had a propaganda on board, but not slinging spells, so not doing shit either. I had finally gotten a couple of lands to cast some ramp spells, sacrificing the lands to Zuran Orb and gain life to offset the life loss from the vampires, but most importantly, to fill the yard with lands to cast Yuma. Pause. What is Yuma? Can you look up Yuma, Mike?
Gotcha. Yuma is 5, a red, a green, and a white for a legendary creature human ranger from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each land card in your graveyard.
Oh.
Whenever Yuma enters the battlefield or attacks, you may sacrifice a land if you do draw a card, and then whenever a desert is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a 4/2 green plant warrior creature token with reach.
Oh, the
Funnily
story.
enough.
The title is coming into play now. I get it.
Funnily enough, you could use a Zuran Orb in this deck.
They have a Zuran Orb in this deck.
Oh, is that why it was said?
That's why we're talking about Zuran Orb. It's
Yep. Funny enough,
the
the story could talk about playing Zuran Orb and sacrificing some lands away.
Literally just said, I got a couple lands to cast some brand spells, sacrificed the lands to Zuran Orb to gain life to offset the life loss, and fill the yard to cast Yuma. And then I asked Mike.
Right, I was testing you.
Tony's unseating me on the EP allegations.
Tony's so tired. You can tell how tired Tony is with how quick he cuts off story discussion and goes right to the salt rating. If it's like a 3-minute, he's like, what's the salt rating?
There's nothing being said. I just let it go where it need to go.
All right, let's keep going. I pass the turn and it gets to Heather's turn. At this point, they have lethal to take me and Yigra out at the same time. Because I want to go home at this point, I tell them, hey, you have enough vampires to take us both out, swing all out, kill us, untap, and kill Stella next since they only have one creature in play. They chuckled and retorted back, nah, it's okay. I like playing with my food. And proceeded to only kill the Yigra player with one creature that was made unblockable. Little did they know that their food was going to be a fat-ass salt rock from the Dead Sea.
Nice.
There we go. That's the fat.
That's the fat. I have a Scoot Swarm, Bitter Reunion, and the Mending of Dominaria in play, and I have to figure out a way to maximize value out of my lands coming out of my graveyard. I pull out Dune Chanter and Satyr Wayfinder with the Saga, and top deck Omnath, Locus of Rage, and cast him. I pass and see what happens, knowing that I may just win this game after all. I pass to Heather, and they do nothing. They only swing with a 2/4 flyer at me that I blocked and killed with my 4/2 Plant Warrior that had reach. But on attack, I asked them if they were sure, pointing out that they still had lethal to kill me and the Stella player if they pay enough mana to get past the propaganda. To which they replied, nah, your board is getting big, and I feel like you're going to mess with my board, so I'm just going to swing and pass. Okay, I don't get that. We'll come back to that. Stella takes her turn, casting one spell, and then passes. My turn. I draw my card for the turn and the final chapter of my Saga triggers. With the Saga trigger on the stack, I sacrifice all of my lands to Zuran Orb and then let the Saga trigger resolve. I dig out all of my lands from my graveyard and put them on the battlefield. I have 19 landfall triggers for both Scoot Swarm and Omnath. I make 19 5/5 elementals and 152 Scoot Swarms. I then sacrifice my Bitter Reunion to give all of my creatures haste and swing out for lethal to kill both Heather and the Stella player. Game concludes, and then I say, wow, I'm actually surprised I won that game. To which Heather very angrily replies, well, I'm not, since you win every fucking game, and then proceeds to angrily pile all of the Yigra players' cards in front of them, pack up their stuff, and leave the store without saying goodbye. So now the rest of us are quiet, and I feel awkward and immediately ask if I was an asshole for winning the game. They laughed and said no, because I gave them multiple chances to win, and they didn't take it seriously. So I ask you, Salty Council, was I an asshole? Was I wrong in having the comeback of the century despite the slow start with the lands deck? I ask that you forgive Heather and that you pray for them, so that they are not salty in a future game of Magic themselves. Sorry for the long story. Keep up the great work, and congrats on getting hashtag sponsored. P.S. Fuck Blue.
Yo, fuck Blue, bro. I need a hyper geometric calculator because EP and my brain's not working. Is that the right amount of Scoot Swarms? Wouldn't it be way more?
For 19?
It's unclear how many Scoots they had
already at the beginning
play
of that.
already. And then all of the landfall triggers are going to happen at the same time. So the new Scoots aren't going to see.
Oh, okay.
It's just like one wave of them.
Gotcha. Okay, I assume they saw.
Yeah, it seems like Scoot Swarm was already out on board. And Bitter Reunion, I don't know it off the top of my head, but clearly it has some kind of sacrifice ability where you can give all of your shit haste.
Yeah.
Dude, if there's a landfall player and they have a fucking Scoot Swarm out and they have a way to give the Scoot Swarms haste.
And an Omnath.
Yeah, and alarm bells aren't going off in your fucking head. Like,
and they're
you
saying
are
shit
fucking
like,
up.
you could kill me.
Yeah, and they're being like, this is the time to kill me right now. And you're like, nah. Okay, let's dissect that fucking thing. They retorted back, nah, it's okay. Oh, no, I like playing with my food. Yeah, we get that. That's fucking shitty. They retorted back, nah, your board is getting big, and I feel like you're going to mess with my board, so I'm just going to swing and pass. What the fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? What's the logic?
Yeah, I feel like some people don't have logic and some people truly don't want the game to end.
Yeah.
And they kind of are just like letting it continue to go. So they're trying to reason it out and be like, oh, well, you've gotten more stuff now. Maybe almost insinuating without actually saying it, like maybe you have some kind of answer or something. I'll just like play it safe and stay back behind my wall because I think I'll be okay. Like I'll like protect my stuff or some shit like that. But again, it's like with those types of powerful things on the board, you know a landfall deck's going to have something to pull a shit ton of lands out at once, right?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Especially when it's a saga.
Yeah, when it's
been
on
in
the
play,
fucking board.
ticking down.
Yeah, literally.
Like this is all
Mending of
face up.
area.
Yeah.
And the Zuran Orb right there looking at you. And you're like,
dude.
here are my landfall triggers. Count my lands. Count all my visible lands. The only thing I can think is that they're sort of saying, if I just swing one thing at you, maybe I won't incur your wrath and you'll leave me alone. Like, is that what they're supposed to be? Like, is that the interpretation here? Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. But again, if that is your plan, you got to say that shit. You got to be like, hey, seems like you're about to pop off. I could kill you right now. If I don't, will you not attack me on your next turn? You know, you gotta play the game a little bit.
You can't reason with the unreasonable. Somebody who like starts off a few turns earlier and is like, I like to play with my food. Like,
Yeah.
You've already lost it. Like it's
that's true.
It's not like a good place to be, and so they're not really doing things that like makes quote sense.
I also do understand. Like, I'll give Heather a little bit of grace here because our buddy Austin here said that this is Heather's first time like really popping off with the deck, and I do think that there's an element when you're in the lead and you're kind of like drunk on spiral power. Shout out to all my Gurren Lagann fans out there. It definitely makes you do weird things in a game sometimes. Like when you're like, I just got it, you know, you're like, I don't need to fucking play optimally anymore because I know I got it.
You just
it's
want to
totally
fly close to
fine.
the sun.
And I just want to draw a few more cards and see like what could happen on the next couple turns because my board is going crazy. And then someone's like, oh, here's my win and you're dead. Just fucking get
Like,
you.
that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
dude.
man. Playing with your food, dude. That's why you don't do it, man. That's why you don't do it.
Well, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
Well, there is a question posed. Is Austin an asshole
Yes,
for having a comeback
obviously.
despite the slow start?
Obviously,
No.
it makes you an ass.
You're an asshole for keeping that hand.
Yeah.
Keep a hand.
Dude.
But you're not an asshole for having a comeback. That's never your fault. And in some ways, you almost gave too many outs of like
Yeah.
being like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Just lean in and then end the game when you're about to win, and that's great.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Heather was just salty because, again, like all this information was face up, you know? And it's like, I think sometimes if you are the kind of person who's going to be like, you win every game and use that kind of excuse, if you have an opportunity to knock that person out of the game, the person that you think wins every game, fucking take that opportunity.
Yeah. Why
You gotta
would
do
not
it.
take
Make sure that's
Yeah.
not true. Be the
Yeah.
change you want to see in the world.
Hell yeah.
Do they win every game because you don't fucking pull the trigger when you can, Heather? You got to make moves.
You gotta make moves.
I can make you every game. You win all the time. It's fucking silly, dude.
Well, Sam,
Yes, Tony?
is it that time of the week?
Tony, I think it is that time of the week.
Oh, baby girl, well, lay it on me. What time of the week is it?
Call me baby girl.
I did. That's who you are. Nice. What are we even talking about right now?
It's the time of the week that comes every week.
Every motherfucking week, baby.
Girl, it's the time of the week where we say, Mike.
See, it's cool when I say it. You don't do it the right way. But break.
What?
What's the salty card of the week?
Control.
I thought
The salty card of the week
swore
this
Mike
week
was going to
is-
say, what, baby girl? I thought he was going to. I was waiting. I was like,
yeah.
is it happening?
I should have.
Sorry, what
What,
time of the
baby
week
girl?
is it?
Edit that in.
It's my little salty scoop. You don't know how I felt. Little salty scoop, little salty scoop. Well, I'm not winning the game, so I put my cards down. But I've got the worst deck in this whole damn town. I brewed a new deck, but man, why even try? Cause I can't resolve a spell, so I might as well cry. It's my little salty scoop. You don't know how I felt. A little salty scoop, just a little salty scoop with a table slam, and I'll scoop 'em up like you give a damn. LGS look relieved cause I'm salting off for sure. So I'll browse the singles and new product on the floor. It's my little salty scoop. You don't know how I felt. Yeah, it's a little do scoop. That's Mike got it.
Is this Little Saint Nick?
Well, so it's Little
I'm
Deuce
confused.
Coupe by Beach Boys. Beach Boys had a song called Little Deuce Coupe, which is about a car. And then they wrote their Christmas album and they wrote the song Little Saint Nick, which became, I mean, both are very popular songs, but Little Saint Nick still continues in, you know, like the holiday world these days, like traditional holiday music. Little Deuce Coupe not played as often. So
it's literally the same fucking melody, and then the chorus is different, and it's really fucking with my brain. So like you're doing it, I'm like, what's happening? Why is it this song but that song? Is it a mashup? What's going on?
It's like they did a holiday cover of their own song.
They did do a holiday cover of their own song.
And that one comes to us from our patron B Brains. Thank you for the song. And B Brains wrote literally the entire song.
Nice.
Literally the whole thing. Literally.
Nice.
I gotta say, I appreciate when people do that. I appreciate the artistry. It's gonna be an extremely rare moment. I won't say I will never do it, but it's gonna be extremely rare that I sing a whole 2 to 3 minute song for the salty song. I think Tony has told me in the past, like, a minute at most, you know. That's like Tony basically sat me down one time. He's like, dude, it's really just got to be like a minute. You can't go more. You can't do these 2 minutes.
We're talking verse chorus.
Yeah, verse chorus and then we out, you know.
It's just
even
like what
that was a
everybody
little
wants at
long.
karaoke. Everybody gets bored after a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sam. That was a lovely salty song.
Thanks,
the salty card of the week.
Thanks, baby girl.
The salty card of the week this week is Epicenter.
Huh.
It is
The fuck is that?
4 and a red for sorcery. Target player sacrifices a land. Oh.
That's it?
Threshold. All players sacrifice all lands.
What's the flavor text? Everybody will fucking hate you once you cast this.
The flavor text is sometimes destruction is Dominaria's way of rebuilding. Sometimes it's not.
Oh, man.
That's good flavor text.
It really is.
The art is pretty fucking sick, too.
Yeah, the art is sick too. Tony, how do you feel about this card?
You know, at first I was like, whatever.
Yeah, right.
What is Threshold again?
Threshold is if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard.
That's like not that fucking hard. Maybe harder in red-ish, but not even because there's like a lot of rummage effects and things.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, dude. I would be so fucking pissed if somebody casts this. 4 mana, everybody sacrifice all your lands?
Yep. All players
Yep.
sacrifice all lands.
Yeah. There's like some cheeky things you could do where you could probably bring your shit back too, but like,
Yeah.
We literally just had a
We
story where
literally
someone
just
did
talked
that.
about it. And that is Mending of Dominaria. And the flavor text is just so relevant. It's great.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like the
Boom.
opposite.
It's
like
kinda
it's
like we
almost
talked
made
about
for
it,
it,
guys.
dude. Like crazy.
Yep. It's almost like the salty card selection isn't random.
Oh shit! Damn.
Wow, that
Zuran
really
Orb.
sort of changes my vibe on things. Yeah, I would be very salty if somebody played this in a game. I'd be like, "Fuck you," and I probably would either scoop or tell them they couldn't. One of those two things would happen. I was like, "Don't fucking do that," and they do it anyway. I probably am just gonna leave.
Yeah. If they did that, I would be like, actually, let's rewind to my turn, and I'm gonna full swing at you instead.
Yeah,
and
I'll
I'm
send
gonna
the
remove
extra
you from the
attacker.
game. Actually,
Now that I know that you're casting this, I actually wanted the full swing.
literally.
Sam, what do you think about this one? Would this make you salty?
I mean, MLD is just always going to be salty, man. Like it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I think
It's been a little while since we've had one.
It has been a while.
It's been a while.
I think the thing that really makes me salty about this is that it actually seems like kind of playable. And I think it's, my mind immediately goes to Corvold, because for every one of those land sacrifices.
Corvold is not fucking playing this card.
Not Corvold CDH, dude. Corvold exists in other formats too, in other power levels.
Barely.
It's basically a bracket 4 deck anyways, what you guys are playing.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even bracket 3. I don't know if you have enough game changers.
Nice.
Get him, get his ass. So
Pile on.
I mean, I think like this in a
more
Corvold
game
deck,
changers than fucking Marath.
this in a Corvold deck, like you play this and you fucking draw a card for every land you sacrifice, or this is something where you do have the Bending of Dominaria about to pop off, and you're like, well, you know what I'll do? I will tap all my lands for mana, cast the Epicenter, sack everything to my Zuran Orb so that it resolves with the fucking Threshold, and then I'll get all my shit back. Like it's just, I mean, it's not an instant, so you can't do it in response to the trigger, but I feel
fucking
like
idiot.
this is a card that can be cheesed so much more than like your Armageddons and shit like that, purely because it's sacrificing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Mike?
I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's sacrificing. You often get benefits from sacrificing your stuff.
Yeah.
And other players have a lot fewer options when you're forcing them to sacrifice their stuff. So you're not going to be able to dodge this with like things that give all your permanents indestructible, which a lot of the other MLD does let you dodge. So I think that's pretty brutal. The threshold does mean that it can't just be like deployed willy-nilly, which I think is nice in some ways, but it being in red is like really scary, because we had the story earlier today using a bunch of landfall stuff, and often these landfall decks, especially ones with both red and green, they'll really want to do this graveyard filling, like Windgrace. I don't know, the new things coming out in Edge of Eternities that are all about playing lands from your graveyard. There's all these different effects where like it's very common that these Jund piles or these Naya landfall piles or just Gruul, like everything is trying to get access to large transitions of their lands. And one of those things you sometimes need to do is get all your lands out of your board and back into a graveyard or a library or somewhere. And being able to do that while also just hitting everybody else, it's like, so that's a little more potent than a Zuran Orb. So
nothing is more potent than a Zuran Orb.
Yeah,
it's the
in
ultimate.
this case though, maybe. But I think I would be salty if someone wasn't abusing this. Like if they weren't in a landfall deck or weren't getting some really obvious advantage out of it, then I'd be
100%.
salty, because I'd be like, come on. At least unlock that card's potential,
Well, ideally, it is a situation like that story we had where it's like somebody does this, you all sack your lands, and then they fucking get 100 Scoot Swarms, but maybe they don't have haste, and they're like, well, now you don't have lands. I have 100 Scoot Swarms. I think the game is wrapped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the other thing is it's so easy to fill your graveyard in red because it's already the rummage colors, like we were saying. If you're adding black and green to that, which you probably are, it's probably a Jund deck. It's so easy to sacrifice things. You're filling your yard. And there's also like retrace effects, like Ren and 6. If you ever get that emblem where all of your instants and sorcery spells have retrace, like you could just cast this to have someone sack a land earlier in the game. And it's just sitting in your graveyard, and then you're retracing it later or casting from your graveyard later or flashing it back somehow. And, it's like this sneaky thing that people don't really see. I don't know. I think that the decks that are running this are abusing the shit out of it and pushing huge advantage.
Yep.
Well, Mike, where does it fall on the top 300 salty cards of the world?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I do. Yeah, I do want to
Get your guesses ready. Listener at home, write them down, mail them to us. Get the episode number.
Just put the
to
episode
us.
number and your guess.
And your guess. Get them in the mail. Pause the episode and then come back and finish once you've done that.
Include a picture of the timestamp so that we know that you're not cheating and that you wrote it down before the time would actually happen.
And include a picture of Thomas Jefferson, ideally on a piece of like greenish and white kind of paper, like a bit of a rectangle. Maybe there's some numbers on there. That is really going to get us to read your mail. Send us $20. Send us $20 in the mail.
Tony, Sam, you got your guesses ready?
I do.
Hit me with them.
101.
88.
Sam won.
Fuck.
It is 59.
Oh,
Damn it.
hell yeah. I had a feeling MLD's up there, man. But lately we've been dipping deeper into the list. So I'm like,
I know. I just thought this would be one they hadn't seen.
But the thing is, if you see that, if you're voting and you see that shit, you're like, ew, fucking buy salt. Next one.
Ew.
Ugh.
All lands. Ew.
Damn it.
Disgusting. Who's playing this, Mike? What decks are you seeing this in? Is Corvold on there?
Well, it is relevant for both of the new Jund commanders from Edge of Eternities. One which lets you play lands from your graveyard, and then the other one says whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. So it's a finisher in that mode as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Corvold is in that deck.
Corvold is interesting.
Corvold is not on this list.
No, Corvold's not on the top of the list. We've got
Get
Zozu the
fucked.
Punisher. We got Kibo.
I don't
Uktabi
give
Prince,
a shit about any others.
Azazon, and Lord
Then
Windgrace.
shut your mouth so I can listen. No one cares about fucking
Yuma.
Corvold.
Corvold is on here, but it is the
Hey, Tony, suck my fucking farts through a straw, dude.
it is the 11th card.
The
Doesn't
11th
even make the
card.
popular
top
of decks.
10.
11th
But-
card?
That's only yeah. It's in
Damn.
45 Corvold decks.
Interesting. So you're saying
Of the
before
how
Edge-
many fucking Corvold decks?
Let's
So
not
it's
talk about that.
0% of Corvold
No,
decks.
it's in 0.27% of Corvold decks.
Wow. So you're saying before Edge of Eternities dropped, this was top 10? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
But those are just the new commanders. Those aren't the top commanders. Those
Damn.
are lower
Fucking
than that.
wild.
Yeah,
But it's in
idiot.
Eurolock as well.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That it does. that wraps it up for the
If it in
Salt card,
Corvold,
of the
no
week.
sense. Your that tracks.
Yeah.
Dude, in Corvold, you
adds
draw
up.
so many cards. Wouldn't that be hot?
Be great.
There's
You
just
draw
like
like 10
infinitely
cards.
better cards for Corvold than this.
Yeah,
It's
That's
not
why.
CDH, but imagine you're playing a bad Corvold deck, like your CDH deck.
Yeah, even if you took the CDH stuff out, there's just better shit than this.
Not if you want to MLT everybody and be a
Yeah.
real prick about it. Open
my
your
God.
mind, Tony. Be
Thanks,
the cursed
Mike,
king
for
that you are.
salty card.
You're welcome,
Don't you
Tony.
take my line. Don't you take my
And
fucking
thank
line.
you, listener,
No. No.
for tuning into another episode of the Howling Salt Mine.
If you want more Howling Salt Mine in your fucking world,
In your
then
life.
fucking
Go to
subscribe
Patreon.
to our shit.
No, you
Yeah.
guys, you got to read off the
Howling
Salt
Salt
Packet
Mine.
Plus first.
Well, you didn't
Oh, yeah.
you didn't do the nice tier in the beginning, so I thought
I
we were
did do
just
the
not
nice
doing
tier.
that.
He did, yeah, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here, Sam from
I
the
didn't say
editing room.
nice,
Just
so-
add in the
yeah, same from the editing room. Just say whether we did that or not. Yeah, you guys did. Yes. Yes, Sam, you did. Don't cut it in, but just confirm whether that happened or not. All right. I'm going to shout out the Salt Packet Plus tier, and then you guys can continue to cobble together the outro of the show while I build the most degenerate
Corvold list.
bracket 3 Corvold list you've ever seen. This week we have Thoughtsamus Prime, Rothbach, Sire Speedy, Bobo Fett, Captain Cross, Elgo Fogel, Clearbrook, D. Beeson, Gilgamesh, Doug's dad, Bark Bark. Sorry that I dunked on Corvold so much, Doug's dad. I'm just trying to piss off Tony. Corvold is cool. Pez, Swankub, The Quiet One, Vok. Oh, and Vok, that's the last one. I said it as if there were more, but there aren't. Thanks, everybody, for your support. And if you want more Howling Salt Mine, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. We have our Discord community, which is great. We have bonus content at the $7 tier. We have like over 100 hours of bonus content. I think that's where it was when we last tallied it up. There's a lot on there. There's a deep mine with which to delve into. But it's a really good time. Jump on into the Discord. It's great. Hey, if you're into Pokemon Pocket TCG, we're chatting about the new set that just dropped, which will be 2 weeks old by the time this episode drops. But it's a good time. It's great. We're having fun. Another way you can support the show is to send us your salty stories. Send them to our website, which is howlingsaltmine.com or thehowlingsaltmine.com. There's a form on there that you can fill out and send us your story. It'll go right to our Gmail, or send it directly to our Gmail. If you're finding that character limit is really weighing you down, if you need some of that sweet formatting that's only afforded to you by Gmail proper, then send it to our Gmail, thehowlingsawmine@gmail.com.
If you want it to be read because you have good formatting, do it that way.
Yeah. And if you have a spicy title, it does stick out more in the Gmail submissions. I will say that. So consider
the
that.
ocular scan algorithm.
Yeah. If we look up
Post-search.
heat and there's fucking 10 things and one of them has an interesting title, I'm going there. I'm going there, folks. Another way you can support the show is to check out our YouTube content, our Spotify content. Follow us in your favorite podcast app of choice. Give us a 5-star review. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Like our reels. Comment on them. Engaging with anything we do helps boost us in the algorithm, helps make our stuff more popular, helps our reach spread out to more people out there. It's free advertisement. It's free fucking real estate. It's free real estate. And anyone can do it.
It's free.
And if you've done it already, we appreciate you. We really, really do. It means a lot. A lot of people find us through the Spotify algorithm these days, and that is pretty cool. Or through our YouTube shorts or our reels on Instagram, which has been pretty cool to see people jump into the show from those. Another way that you can help us out is to check out our merchandise. We have our shirts on Bonfire. We're selling custom Dragon Shield sleeves on the Dragon Shield website. We also have a promo code there. Stay salty, all one word, all lowercase. You get 5% off. But check out our sleeves. We've got the logo sleeves on there, and we have 1-800-ARE-YOU-FLAPPING sleeves on there. Currently, that might be changing if you're listening to this in the future. If you go on there and you're disappointed, hey, you fucking missed it. Sorry, bud. Another way you can support the show is to go to Asheville, North Carolina, and get a tattoo from our buddy, Devin Burnett, who give us our beautiful podcast art that we rock every single motherfucking week. And if you're down there, he's a cool guy. Check him out. He's a cool guy. Fucking check him out.
Stop trying to go off script. It's not working. It's bad. It's just bad. 10,000 subscribers are buzzed.
Indeed. Wow. You guys were really mean to me this episode. Corfield
Every
should
once in
play
a
land
while, we gotta
destruction.
crush you a
Corfield
little
should
bit.
play MLD is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I want Corvold to be destroying my lands.
Exactly. If not in that
I want to
deck,
be
where
on the other
else?
side from that.
Be a real fake cursed king. You know what I'm saying? Thanks again, everybody. As always, stay salty. And don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the howling summer. The howling summer.
I'm just a good Christian boy.
Yeah.
Just high on the Lord's grace. Talk about angel's grace, am I right? Slowly draining us of our life totals while their beard grows. Oh, not their beard. No, while their beard grows longer? Crazy. That's a long turn, dude.
What is flesh? What is
What is
threshold
flesh?
again?
What is flesh?
What is flesh?
What is flesh?
What is
flesh? Fat flesh.